Well, you've made it all the way through the Confidence Formula program. Congratulations. It's a big commitment at the start, and it's a lot of information throughout, and hopefully it's valuable and useful, as we always talk about. There's a lot of different pieces, a lot of different layers that we've added into it. And so this is to summarize and kind of review each of the topics just to kind of get you remembering because the first week now feels so long ago. It's worthwhile to just touch on what we did cover and kind of have a reminder of what each week included. And then we're going to talk about where we are now and what comes next. If you're going to stay involved with our program, what we have in line for you to continue. So, where we've been. This is the map that we started out showing you of all the different modules across the 12 weeks. So if you can remember back to week 1 in the focus funnel, we were talking about how we use instructions, how we use the tag teach approach, and also what your top 3 priorities were, which I have captured in my notes, and we'll be talking about that as part of our week 12 on the court to just review and measure. We're actually going to line up a evaluation to reevaluate your skill level now that you're done with the course and really have some hard numbers to compare apples to apples and see what has moved since we started. Week 2 was all about footwork from the sneakers up. So we went through our 3 stops, working on our jump stop, our stride stop, and our hockey stop, working on ball handling and finishing out of that, putting down the first layer of footwork. Then we worked on the 3 pillars of defense, working on how to contain the ball, how to contest shots, how to rebound more effectively. We worked on a lot of ball handling. Kind of the core of our ball handling focus was on changing 2 things, which I've repeated on the court and recalled with you, tried to get you to constantly be reinforcing that idea of changing speed and changing direction to become unguardable. And then phase 2, we're getting into week 5, we worked on finishing. So 5 different angles, working on our moves and counter moves for finishes, really coming up with all different combinations so that we can always find a way to score when we're near the basket. Week 6, we worked on the deep range assassin, trying to increase your efficiency, be able to shoot from farther with more power, and then eventually more precision. So you can shoot with unlimited range and really take shots anytime you're open. Situational skill system, we started getting into decision making. We worked in a fast break scenario. Where do you run to if you're ahead of the ball? Where do you go if you have the ball? Where do you run if you're trailing behind the ball? And then we started working on our 3 major half court actions, which are pass and cut, drive and kick, dribble at for our handoff for our back cut. And that was our first layer intro into those. The inside job, we then added 2 more kind of team tactics that I would call them. The inside playmaker position, where you're having your back to the basket, playing out of the traditional post position, but being a passer first, trying to create plays, find cutters, and then also be able to score one-on-one in the post as needed. And then the second position is what we call the dunker, where you're moving in a circle around the basket, trying to create a pocket of space as a teammate drives and as your defender gets tunnel vision on the ball, making yourself available for a drop-off pass. And then phase 3, we got into kind of a second layer on shooting, how to create shots. So we worked on creating shots before the catch, doing a lot of off-ball movement, screens away from the ball. Then we worked on after the catch, so using our pull-up, our step back, kind of all the different shots we can create with 1 or 2 dribbles. And then we worked on off the dribble, how to use our, again, change of speed, change of direction to create enough space to get a shot off when we're ISO, one-on-one with the ball already in our hands. The scores formula was week 10. We worked on the basketball math. It was more recent for you at this point, but breaking down our points per shot value, really the main conclusion that I wanted you to take away was to avoid having to take a contested mid-range shot, scratching off the lowest value shot from our list, trying to get more uncontested layups, uncontested threes, and free throws as our top priority. The advantage multipliers, what we just worked on in week 11, trying to take each of these pieces and figure out how to not stop attacking. So as a team, how to create an advantage, and instead of stopping and then restarting somebody else creating an advantage one-on-one or one-on-five, we're trying to create one, multiply it, and continue it until we are an unstoppable force that the defense really has no chance to catch up on. And then finally, this week in week 12, we just wrapped up is the decision maker, really trying to get you a framework for how to make decisions, how to set up a sequence so that you can practice decision making, even if you're by yourself in the driveway, with using a simple framework of 2 moves in a queue and a little bit of imagination, maybe some obstacles, trash cans and chairs to really simulate real game situations so that every time you are doing a practice rep, it matters and it's connected in your mind to the real game. And also taking on the persona and the identity of I am a decision maker. Like I make the decisions in the game for my team, in my life, like, taking that as far as you will to really adopt that mindset of being a decisive person, which is kind of the ultimate level of confidence, right? Like I make no decisions, I defer to everybody else. Is like I lack confidence to do anything, is the opposite of being a decision maker, where I make decisions quickly, easily, decisively, and I take action from them. And that's what I really want for you. So where we are, this is something I came up with a while back, mostly to describe this to parents before they start working with us, but I pulled it out of my archives of images because I thought it was really good to show you where you are based on this model. So what most players lack is certainty, and I think we've given you a lot of certainty with your footwork and your decision making as our 2 primary points. And now you probably have some confidence. I've certainly seen confidence from you as you've played in the last couple weeks in our group. Like you're making quicker, better decisions, you're taking better shots, you are attacking the basket, going after the ball for rebounding, like all of that shows up as confidence. And now it's really just a matter of time until you reach the pinnacle here of my pyramid, which is aggressiveness. And if I talk to most parents and coaches, what they want to see from you is aggressiveness. They kind of know you need some confidence, but they have no idea about what you lack certainty in. So that's what we have done. If you look at the last 12 weeks overall, is just provided you certainty in a lot of different small pieces. And the emerging property of all that is confidence is now showing up. And I think, again, it's a matter of time and experience to where you know that you're confident and you know that you know what you're doing. And so you can go after whatever it is you're doing really aggressively. And then aggressiveness shows up and your performance, is raised to a higher level from there. So what comes next? If you haven't seen this yet, we actually have this hanging in our gym. This is my way of rating players. So most of you have gone through an evaluation before you did the program. May have been quite a while before you did the program because you were doing other stuff with us in the meantime. But really where we want you to be is somewhere in this blue to red sock level by the time you're done with this program. For most of you, you started in the green sock level. Like that's kind of our threshold to be accepted, be eligible for the confidence formula is you got to be here, 7th grade or higher and be ready for everything we're going to throw at you. And some of you might have been higher than that already, but really our goal is that you moved up at least 1 level. Sometimes you'll go 2. I haven't really seen anybody go 3 levels, in 1 3-month period, but moving up a level in 3 months is great because that's a big, faster jump than you probably would have gotten otherwise. And that's really what we're here for, is accelerated learning. So anyway, after our 12th week of workouts is done, we're going to reach out to schedule an evaluation with you to recertify, reevaluate what your skill level is, as if we had never met you before, and really compare apples to apples where you were when we first did that same evaluation. And so by that, measure, the progress that we've made. And you also get a nice new pair of socks with a different color out of that. And then we're going to give you a certificate. So, we think of this as like a college level course where you spent a whole semester learning all these different things that add up to the confidence formula. And so we want to kind of give you something to remember it by. So we're going to give you a certificate printed with your name that says like you have passed the confidence formula program, and something to hang it on the wall, maybe frame it if you feel like it, but really certify confidence. Like when you're feeling down on yourself, go look at that. Like, yeah, I did this. I proved to myself that I could learn and perform all these different skills. And then the continuation program is what we call the confidence warranty. So we probably have talked to your parents about this by this point, at least to some extent. It's a month to month kind of maintenance program that can run in the background, even if you're playing soccer or you're playing lacrosse or you're even playing basketball during the winter. This is designed to kind of be your support structure to really just make sure we continue progressing and we don't slide backwards and lose, all that we've built over the last 12 weeks. And so we do once a month, one-on-one training, basically 1 hour a month. So you could split it to 2 half-hour workouts or 1 full-hour workout each month. Kind of just what I call troubleshooting workouts, where if you're playing another season or you're doing something else, it's just a way to like you bring some ideas, I have my checklist, and we just troubleshoot the things that we know you're trying to continue to improve on. And we have a weekly feedback video. So either from our workout film or from games, if you're in an active season, we'll take 3 to 5 clips and voice it over and feed it back to you. So, it's, hey, Johnny, this is where you were in a drive and kick scenario. You moved the opposite way and therefore, your shot got blocked because you didn't have enough space. Or you drove back toward the pass and you ran into a double team and lost the ball. Here's where we need to drive away from the pass to attack that space. All the stuff that we have worked on over the 12 weeks is kind of gives us both the terminology and the rapport to understand, what we're going to be talking about and where your room for improvement is. So we really don't offer this to anybody that's not a graduate of the confidence formula for that reason. They need to know all this depth of knowledge that we've covered in the last 12 weeks in order to understand what we would tell you on a feedback video. And then the third part is what I call the texting hotline, or accountability is kind of what parents want to hear. I don't think accountability means that much to you as a player. It's not a value to you. But, me texting you to say, hey, what's up this week? How's practice going? What are you thinking about going into the tournament next weekend? And vice versa, having you with contact directly to my phone. So you can text me and say, hey, I struggled with this in this game. Here's a clip of me, shooting threes this week and I'm just bricking everything. What do you think I can do differently? Really just using me as a resource to answer questions you have and for me to stay in touch with you. And so I'm going to be asking you questions and really gathering my intel from what you tell me and from the video, so that when we get to that once a month workout, we've got a really good priority checklist. So like, this keeps happening in games. This decision needs work on. This type of finish is a real struggle right now. And, we can go through that, one-on-one setting and really get some solutions for you year round so that every skill you are working on is actively progressing. So the last part is, what was the most useful thing? I know I ask you that after every workout, but this is a bigger picture. What was the most useful thing from the last 12 weeks? And I'd really like to know. I don't expect you to have the answer off the cuff when I'm face to face with you at the end of the workout and, 5 other players are staring at you. So I want you to think about it. It might be 5 minutes, it might be a couple days, but think about, what was the biggest thing that you're taking away from this 12 weeks? And I'm going to use that to help modify, revise, and improve the whole course so that the next crew of players that comes through is going to benefit from your feedback. So it's important for me to know what was the most useful thing for you. And that's it. You now have concrete confidence, and you are a graduate of the confidence formula, one of only 110 players or so at this point in time. And if you're listening to this many years in the future, then it may have grown past 200 to 500. My goal is to reach 1,000 players that have gone through this program. and measure my impact by how long they continue playing basketball and what level they continue playing after we've worked with you. So take your concrete confidence into the world and go do big things. I'll see you on the court soon.